You've probably heard about the health benefits of blueberries, but what if I told you that when combined with certain foods, it can become toxic and harmful to your health, especially for older people? Milk and blueberries. What could be better for breakfast? It seems like the perfect start to the day. We've always been told that milk is good for bones, and blueberries are great for vision and memory. But what if I told you this combination could be dangerous, especially for older people? Blueberries contain powerful antioxidants that slow down the aging process and support vascular health. However, when they meet dairy products, especially milk and cottage cheese, undesirable reactions can occur. The secret lies in how milk proteins and the substances in blueberries interact in the stomach. When they mix, milk proteins begin to bind with acids and enzymes from the blueberries, which can disrupt normal digestion. As a result of this interaction, some of the beneficial properties of blueberries may be lost, and milk proteins may not be properly absorbed. But that's not all. There are even more serious consequences. If you've ever tried eating milk with blueberries and felt a heaviness in your stomach, this could be the result of this interaction. When the body can't properly digest these foods, unpleasant sensations such as bloating and diarrhea may arise. This is especially dangerous for older people, as their digestive system is not as efficient as that of younger people. Think about how important it is to monitor food combinations in old age. This is not just a recommendation, it's protection from unpleasant consequences. What will happen if you constantly consume milk and blueberries together? Over time, this could lead to chronic digestive issues and even poisoning if these products are not properly processed in the body. Milk on its own is a great source of calcium, and blueberries are rich in vitamins and minerals, but together they can disrupt the balance in the body. So what symptoms might warn you about problems? It could be a headache, weakness, a sudden rise or drop in blood pressure, a feeling of heaviness in the stomach, and stomach pain. For older people, this can be especially concerning since such symptoms are often mistaken for age-related changes rather than the result of improper food combinations. If you notice anything like this, don't delay visiting a doctor. There are plenty of alternatives that can be a great complement to blueberries without health risks. For example, blueberries go perfectly with yogurt or low-fat kefir, which are easier to digest without causing digestive problems. But it's better to be cautious with milk. Here's the story of a woman who faced issues from milk and blueberries. Marina, 67 years old, ate her usual breakfast with blueberries and milk and felt sharp stomach pain. She took some painkillers and didn't think much of it. After a few days, the symptoms returned, and she went to the doctor. During the examination, she found out that such combinations could cause gastritis and worsen her condition. This is not an isolated case. We often don't realize which foods can actually be dangerous for us. Now you know that milk with blueberries is something you should avoid. Older people already have weakened immune systems and digestion, so the importance of proper food combinations becomes even more critical. Blueberries are incredibly healthy on their own, but it's important to choose the right combinations for consumption. Don't experiment with milk. Think about what you eat and how it affects your health. How often do we enjoy desserts with blueberries? A blueberry cake, pie, or maybe just sweet yogurt with berries. This combination seems so tempting. Blueberries add not only flavor but a whole range of health benefits, antioxidants, vitamins. But what if I told you that when combined with sweet foods, its beneficial properties disappear, and your body gets nothing but problems? This may sound absurd, but this combination can indeed harm you, especially for older people. How is this possible? Let's find out. When we eat sweets with blueberries, our body faces overload. The high sugar levels from sweet foods interfere with the proper absorption of nutrients from the blueberries. Sugar actively reduces the effectiveness of antioxidants and vitamins in the berries. Now imagine how the body of an older person tries to cope with such a combination. The body, unable to absorb the nutrients, starts using its energy to process the excess sugar, which can lead to hyperglycemia and fluctuations in blood sugar levels. For people with diabetes, this is especially dangerous as such fluctuations can lead to serious health consequences. When you eat sweets with blueberries, blood sugar levels rise quickly. This triggers an insulin release to normalize the sugar levels. However, with age, insulin sensitivity decreases, and the body no longer handles such spikes as quickly. As a result, the sugar may stay elevated for longer than necessary, putting stress on the pancreas and contributing to the development of type 2 diabetes. If you add many sugary foods with blueberries to your diet, it will not only worsen your well-being, but also increase the likelihood of chronic diseases. It is important to monitor what you eat, especially when it comes to food combinations that can negatively affect your health. Let's listen to the story of Lyudmila, 72 years old. She always loved blueberry cakes. They were her favorite dessert. One day, she decided to eat a large piece of pie her mother made for a celebration. A couple of hours later, Lyudmila felt dizzy. Her heart started beating faster, and the next day, her blood sugar levels spiked significantly. Her doctor explained that combining sweets with blueberries might be the cause of the sugar spikes and worsened condition. Lyudmila was shocked, as she had always thought this combination was safe. This is a real example of how incorrect combinations can damage health. So how does sugar affect the beneficial properties of blueberries? It turns out that high sugar content neutralizes the antioxidants that are crucial in fighting inflammation and aging. Blueberries are powerful antioxidants, but when they meet large amounts of sugar, their potential is significantly reduced. This doesn't mean that blueberries lose all their health benefits, but their effect is greatly weakened. For older people who need support for their immune systems, this can be especially critical. Instead of benefiting from the berries, they end up in a situation where the nutrients are not absorbed properly. Older people often worry about their appearance and skin condition. Blueberries are not only food, but also a product that improves skin condition due to their antioxidants. However, when they are mixed with sweets, especially high-calorie desserts, it can cause inflammation and worsen skin health. High sugar levels stimulate the production of free radicals, which can damage skin cells and accelerate aging processes. Think about how this affects your appearance and health when the combination of products doesn't help, but rather worsens things. Few people think about how such small things can affect their quality of life. Let's now talk about the heart. Sweets with blueberries can affect the condition of blood vessels and the cardiovascular system in general. The high sugar levels from sweet foods contribute to the accumulation of cholesterol in the blood vessels, increasing the risk of atherosclerosis and other cardiovascular diseases. Older people who already have problems with blood pressure or the heart may face even more serious complications if they continue to combine sweets with blueberries. This combination creates additional stress on the heart, which does no good. The good news is that you can enjoy blueberries without health risks. Instead of combining them with high-sugar products, you can add them to natural yogurt, oatmeal, or simply eat them as a standalone dessert. It's important to remember that blueberries on their own, or with low-calorie foods, will bring more health benefits. Replace sweet cakes and pies with blueberries with healthy and tasty alternatives. For example, blueberries with almond milk or blueberries with nuts is a great combination that will provide your body with all the necessary nutrients. My mother, for example, always loved sweet pies with blueberries, but after changing her habits and starting to eat blueberries with Greek yogurt, her well-being significantly improved. She felt lighter, her blood sugar problems went away, and now she enjoys berries without any worries. So if you want to keep benefiting from blueberries, just avoid combining them with extra sugar. Make sure you eat them with the right foods, and your health will stay in check. Blueberries are an amazing berry with many health benefits, but it's important to know how and with what to combine them. Sweets with blueberries are not the best choice, especially for older people. Sugar from sweet foods reduces the beneficial properties of the berries and can also lead to serious problems with blood sugar, the cardiovascular system, and appearance. Be cautious with what you eat and always watch the combinations of foods to maintain your health at a high level. Think about how many people enjoy a cup of coffee with blueberries in their morning routine. But what if I told you that this popular drink could have unexpected consequences for your health, especially for older people? To understand why this combination can be dangerous, let's dive into biochemistry. Caffeine, the active ingredient in coffee, affects the body by stimulating the central nervous system, increasing heart rate and raising blood pressure. Blueberries, despite their health benefits, also have an impact on the vascular system. When coffee and blueberries meet in the body, the result may not be so good. Blueberries contain certain compounds that can interact with caffeine, affecting circulation and putting strain on the cardiovascular system. For older people, this can lead to undesirable outcomes such as high blood pressure, headaches, and tachycardia. As we age, our bodies no longer handle stress as they did in youth. Older people are generally more sensitive to changes in blood pressure and heart rate. The effects of caffeine on their bodies can be more pronounced and lead to heart problems. Older people often take medications that can either enhance or diminish the effects of caffeine, making it even more dangerous when combined with blueberries. Even if you feel fine, such combinations can affect your health much more than you think. Let's be clear. Coffee stimulates the release of adrenaline and increases heart rate. When this happens, blood vessels constrict and pressure rises. Blueberries, on the other hand, contain anthocyanins, which promote blood vessel relaxation and improve circulation. Thus, coffee can interfere with the beneficial properties of blueberries and reduce their effect. Instead of protecting blood vessels, they may become more vulnerable, especially if coffee is consumed in large quantities. And for older people, this presents an additional risk. Did you know that coffee can cause arrhythmias in people with weakened hearts? When caffeine levels rise in the body, heart rate can increase, which is especially dangerous for people with cardiovascular diseases. When this happens alongside the consumption of blueberries, which also affects circulation, the effect can be even more noticeable. Older people with hypertension or other heart conditions may notice worsening symptoms after a morning combination of coffee and blueberries. It's not uncommon for such combinations to lead to shortness of breath, rapid heart rate, and chest pain. If you notice symptoms like headaches, dizziness, or rapid heart rate after drinking coffee with blueberries, this is a clear sign that this combination isn't suitable for you. Don't ignore these signals. Remember, as we age, our bodies become more sensitive to different foods, and combinations like coffee and blueberries can trigger unexpected reactions. Imagine starting your day with a cup of coffee and blueberries, and then feeling a racing heart and dizziness. That feeling of anxiety and confusion when you don't understand what triggered such symptoms. This unpleasant feeling may worsen, and instead of enjoying your morning drink, you'll face unpleasant consequences. You've probably heard that coffee and blueberries are a healthy combination for energy and activity. However, this common belief is not always justified. In fact, when coffee is consumed on an empty stomach or combined with certain foods, its effect can be significantly reduced. In particular, when combined with blueberries, this effect can become even more unpleasant. Many people, especially older individuals, believe that blueberries help balance the effects of coffee on the body. But in reality, coffee and blueberries can not only neutralize each other's beneficial properties, but also create additional strain on the body. So what should you do if you can't give up coffee and blueberries in your diet? The good news is there are alternatives. For example, instead of caffeine-containing coffee, you can choose green tea, which has a gentler effect on the cardiovascular system. You can also consume blueberries with natural yogurt or as part of other healthy dishes that don't cause issues with blood pressure. Or try drinking coffee not on an empty stomach, but after a full breakfast to reduce its impact on the body. This will help avoid blood pressure spikes and other unpleasant consequences. Here's a real-life example from my friend Ivan Ivanovich, 69 years old. He always drank coffee with blueberries for breakfast, thinking it was a healthy combination. However, in the last few months, he began experiencing heart rhythm problems, frequent headaches, and elevated blood pressure. After changing his diet and switching to coffee with milk, not combining it with blueberries, his condition improved significantly. This is a true story, and such changes can positively affect your health. Small steps, like choosing the right food combinations, can greatly improve your quality of life. Coffee and blueberries are not the safest combination, especially for older people. If you want to enjoy these foods, do so wisely. Listen to your body and pay attention to changes in your well-being. Instead of risking your health, it's better to choose safer food combinations that will benefit you, not harm you. Have you ever eaten blueberries with something that later led to unpleasant consequences? Share your story in the comments. Remember, healthy eating is not only tasty but also safe. Be mindful of the combinations in your diet, especially when it comes to older people. Blueberries are healthy, but only in the right combinations.